Guru is not a provider of knowledge or experience. Guru is the one who shows the futility of knowledge. We all have knowledge and are firm believers in the potency of knowledge. Guru is the one who shows you that all knowledge is futile. Till the time you are believing in knowledge, you would also be believing in ego. Till the time you are believing in knowledge, your trust, your fundamental trust will be in the world, because all knowledge comes from the world and all knowledge is material.
So ultimately, you have to have faith in something.
Faith can never be objective. Faith can never be upon something or someone. If it is upon something or someone, that it will be a belief. If faith has an object, it immediately becomes a belief. And beliefs are dangerous. Faith is such a courageous thing precisely because it is upon nobody. You have faith, and if someone asks, upon whom? You just smile. Nobody in particular. And when it is upon nobody in particular, then you are faithful towards existence itself. And that is real spirituality. Faith does not mean trust. These are very different things.
You talked a lot about self-attentiveness. It's attentiveness on your daily small actions, because big never comes. It's always the small that matters. And in our interaction with kids also, we talk a lot about self-exploration and being attentive. That brings me to another. Sorry, I'm quoting again. I keep listening to Krishnamurti. So he uses a very important sentence over and over and over again. Is when the observer becomes the observed.
Yes.
And when he says that, and I also I've read him. It's difficult to understand him. It's very difficult to understand. Whether he's talking about when you say bodh, you knowing what you are doing. So there is an observation about you observing what you are doing. I see it in that sense also. But there is also an interpretation again by Osho on this. He also went on to comment upon when somebody asked him that what is the meaning of this sentence, observer becomes the observed. And he says, then he goes under the tangent of meditation. We should talk a lot on meditation. And then he says when images come and go and your internal talk is happening and you are quiet and you can hear all those images, see all those images, and you can hear all those conversations, chatter, an endless chatter. Slowly, by and by, I don't know, months or years, when you keep doing this, then there is nothing, it just all fades away. And all that is left is the observed. Observer is the observer. Now, I've heard your views about meditation. I've also, Krishnamurti was not, he would say meditation in a very, very different way. And Osho would, he would give one method after another about meditation. So for me as a practitioner of meditation, and also I know you say that meditativeness is a 24-hour, 24/7 thing. It's not a eyes closed and then you go about it. So as a practitioner, it shakes my faith when I hear you in meditation. It shakes my faith in the very effort of meditation that I put on an everyday basis. So is the usage of the tool wrong? Am I going, because I see a quietness does descend upon me when I finish meditation after an hour.
Could you have entered the act of meditation without first being already meditative? Now, do not be in a hurry to answer this. What comes first, the act or the center from which the act arises?
I had only one lecture of Krishnamurti in person.
Yes.
And this was the topic, meditation. So he was right what he said, that it's 24 hours, because at that time transcendental meditation was very popular, and he quoted that it brings down some poisonous chemicals in your body and so on. So he said, supposing you cannot meditate. You are traveling, and so what will happen? Are you going to blow up? So his thought was that meditation 24 hours a day in every action, in everything you do. I think that's Ashtavaka is the one that really cleared my mind because he says that no knowledge, nothing is separate. So I've read Vishisht Yoga, Ashtavaka, and Bhagavad Gita, and somewhere I find I'm basically a Sufi, follow Nanak, and Ashtavaka has been and is at the moment what I'm going through, and it makes all the sense. It's a kind of sets you free of all the dogmas, all the past. You see, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, I mean, great admirer, but it still has classifications, higher, lower. It's not relevant in this day and age. So that's why Ashtavaka and Vishnu Yoga also is good. Like Lord Rama is confused. He's asking the same question Arjuna did. But here he's trying to address Janaka, who's already a very knowledgeable person. So it's the clarity is really it's kind of set you free from all the so many things you've heard, learned. But each one grows up in some environment and so on. But it's been a very positive.
Meditativeness is the submergence of mind in the center. If I ask you, does the bhakt go to the temple? Does the devotee go to the temple and hence become a devotee? Or does he go to the temple out of his pre-existing devotion? What would you say? Later. So the act of going to the temple cannot really be called as devotion. Devotion is there, and therefore it is manifesting itself as a visit to the temple. Take the visit to the temple as the meditation exercise, and take devotion as meditativeness. When I am saying meditativeness is 24/7, all I mean is that it is something beyond time, because whatever is in time cannot be 24/7. Time means that it will start and it will end. 24/7 does not mean that it is for long time or continuous time. It means it is beyond time, and hence it is the self, it is the Atman. So when the mind is submerged in the self, then it takes up diverse activities. All those activities are meditations of different kinds. One of those activities could even be, a breathing exercise or sitting silently or whatever you do. I have no issues with that. It is just that it is false when somebody calls that activity as meditation. If that activity is a result of an inner meditativeness, wonderful. But if inner meditativeness is not there and you are just entering the activity, then it is wasteful. The activity will not give much to you. You see, people think that peace comes from meditation activity. What I have been continuously asserting is that the meditation activity comes from peace. If you are believing that by sitting in a particular pose for half an hour, you will get peace, then you are deluded. But if there is an inner peace, that submergence which I talked about, if there is an inner peace, then surely you will discover more and more methods of meditation. Anything that you do will be a meditative exercise, because now you love peace. So you will want to sustain that peace. You will not want to leave it, miss it. So whatever you do will be aimed at maintaining the peace that you are in. And that is real meditation. Now there will be not only a few methods of meditation, but an infinite number of methods of meditation. Are you getting it? Now everything that you do is meditation. But first you have to be internally meditative. Without that, if you try this or that, it will never help. Methods do not take you to the end. When you are already at the end, then you know which methods are right. And that knowing is spontaneous. You first have to be a devotee. Then wherever you go, you know there is God. Now there is a temple everywhere. But if you think that without being devoted internally, if you enter some temple, then you are just boosting your ego. That is what I have been trying to say. About the other thing, the observer is the observed. All that Krishnamurti is saying in his own language, particular kind of expression, is that the world appears to you as you are. That's all. What you see outside is just an expression of the quality of the mind. The observer is the observed. He could have added, and both are false. He could have completed the sentence by saying the observer is the observed and both are false. He could have even said that when the observation is honest, then both the observer and the observed dissolve into each other and the falseness vanishes. Honest observation is the ending of both the observer and the observed. Are you getting it?
It's in every field. It's a musician is playing and he becomes one with the audience.
Yes.
Same.
Yes. And when we are saying he becomes one with the audience, that doesn't mean that he feels that he is sitting with the audience. That means that there is no more any audience of any kind.
Right.
And hence not the musician either.
Artist, anything.
No, nothing. Now there is just the happening. Just the happening without the doer.
The time and space have gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Because they exist only when there is mental activity.
But the very fact of self-exploration and watching yourself creates a dualism.
Yes.
And that dualism, when teachers talk about observing yourself, I see that dualism is being taught, which is not the intention of the teacher,
Lovely,
I think.
lovely. No, it is just the ignorance of the teacher. I am sorry, I am compelled to say that. You see, yesterday itself, I saw a European woman walking on the grass and she was keeping her feet like this.
Really.
I know what she was doing. She would have surely been taught by some teacher that you must walk in awareness. Mindfulness. So mindful walking is what she was practicing. So she was trying to do this, that okay, I'm keeping the next step and I'm aware of the grass touching my feet and the pressure exerted by the earth and now I keep the next step. Now you know what she's doing. An act which could have happened very simply without the aid of thought. Now even that simple act has been brought in the province of thought. In the name of awareness, thought is being promoted. It is not awareness. Awareness is the cessation of thought, not more thinking. That you are thinking even while keeping your step. You will go mad. If you start doing that even for 4 hours a day, your mind will go kaput. Finished.
What if she's just watching and trying to feel how the step feels against the grass?
Yes, but then...
Not thinking at all.
Yes, but then that cannot be an organized thing. Then she cannot know that I have to keep the next step slowly and slowly and slowly. This slowly is a formal procedure. A formal procedure that she is mentally remembering and is hence contributing to more mental activity.
Is it the wrong understanding of the disciple of what teacher has said? Because Thich Nhat Hanh, I don't want to say anything about any teacher, but Thich Nhat Hanh talks a lot about mindfulness, and these are all
The mind is already
teachings.
so full.
Yeah.
Why do you want to have more mindfulness? What do you mean by mindfulness? The mind is, in fact, you need the mind to be emptied. A lot of suffering has been caused by this thing called mindfulness. Because in the name of mindfulness, all you get is more thinking, more thought, more thought, more thought. Somebody is saying, I am mindful of sipping tea. Now, sipping tea, which was such a sahaj activity, has been turned into a procedure.
But one thing Bodhi talks of is the seed consciousness. That part is
I have not read, so I'm not in really a position to comment. No names, not talking about someone in particular. I'm just saying that this whole concept of watching yourself, when it is misplaced, then instead of witnessing, it becomes more mental activity. What they are trying to promote is witnessing, detachment. They are saying watch yourself, act. It does not happen like that. It is not so gross. Witnessing is not about saying now this is happening. You know what they are saying, that these teachers, they are saying the whole day you are involved in 10 activities. Now add one more activity, witnessing. So witnessing, instead of becoming a dissolution of the 10 activities, becomes an 11th activity. Another load on the mind, another thought. Krishnamurti therefore took care to use the word passive. He uses that word very often. He says passive observation, not active. Because active would mean thinking. So he would say passive. By that he only meant that when you are doing this, kindly do not start thinking, kindly do not start planning your next step, kindly do not have a pattern in mind. He used to say passive awareness, passive awareness. But even the word passive can become a thought. You can start thinking whether it is passive.
Am I actively seeing or
Am I actively or passive? So now gone, finished.
He talks about when admiring a flower. He says that
Now you
don't
can
analyze the beauty of the flower.
You could be standing in front of the, see, I'm not analyzing the beauty of the flower. See, I'm not analyzing the, without knowing that even this is analysis. This is what happens when the subtle is interpreted by a gross mind. The words of the real teacher are very subtle, but when they fall in the hands of a gross mind, he gives them gross meanings. He gives material meanings to the spiritual. Some of the words in the spiritual domain today are extremely misused words. Mindfulness, wakefulness, loving compassion, kindness.
What are your thoughts on ahimsa?
I don't know whether that is in circulation these days. Is that so? Is that word?
What is that? Which one?
Ahimsa.
Ahimsa is I don't know. That might be. See, if I do not know compassion, if I do not know witnessing, if I do not know any of the words that I frequently use, obviously I'll not know ahimsa also. Even my non-violence will be very violent. Anything that is cultivated, planned, and forced is violence. Violence is when you are going against the self, against your central nature. That is violence. Ahimsa means abiding in the self. That's all.